connected. We're streaming. There it goes. There it goes. Hang on. We're still black screen, but we're loading. Ah, got it. We got it. All right, we're here. We did it.
We got him.
Let me make sure. Let me post the new link for the new one, just in case.
So while you're doing that, can I ask how you been? Because you asked me.
I have been pretty good.
Clouds.
Pretty good. Like I said, I'm a little upset about the clouds, just because I was actually gonna take a drive out tonight and try to see some shit. But that's okay. It happens.
No, I was gonna go to a nice dark spot and see some stuff, but then the forecast just fucked it all up.
Yeah.
So
again, I'm not mad. We need the rain, but other than that, I've been good. It's just been normal here for me. Like, things at work have been a little. Something did happen, not to me, to my boss recently. It's pretty funny. So obviously, we're a national chain. Yep. So while they do have a storefront in Utah, their headquarters is not in Utah. So they are beholden to Utah labor laws, but they're also beholden to federal labor laws because they do business nationally. My boss terminated an employee without cause. And the employee has basically said that they are going to get a lawyer and file a complaint and go the whole route. And the HR legal team for my company is apparently shitting themselves.
Oh.
Because
see, I've never been in that situation.
I haven't either.
I think I've always worked for at-will employers.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of maybe my current job, basically.
Mm.
In which case it was still at will for a year of probationary time. And then now I think they have to go through some hoops to fire me, but that's
well,
crazy.
You also work public sector, so
yeah, sort of. No,
so Utah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the federal labor law would get in the way of that.
It doesn't. We're beholden mostly to Utah labor laws. For example, if we were in California, California labor laws would have our store by the balls. But in Utah, it is primarily, an at-will employment state. But my company is just extra anointed when it comes to lawsuits because they've been sued a few times and have lost. And they have been class act sued twice and lost. So they have a shit record. And the other thing, too,
is
it's definitely a skill issue. This is what happens when your country, sure. When your company is openly bragging about having 76% female management and not.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that before.
Yeah, so not saying there's necessarily a correlation there. However, there's one hell of a correlation there if you really want to. If you want it to be there. They just don't have a good track record when it comes to lawsuits. They get handed L's left and right. And it's also one of these things where, if it doesn't actually matter if the company's wrong or in the right, if the legal system decides that there might be grounds for the lawsuit to go forward and it goes forward, and the company will have to spend money on lawyers and legal fees and all of that shit.
That's automatically a loss.
That's automatically a loss. So, good example I can give was JP Morgan, where recently they had that one employee who said that his boss was trying to turn him into her sex slave or something like that. And he gave these really weird accountings about how she was trying to dominate him. And then more details came out and a picture of him leaked, and everyone was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Because she's
and he was she this was the one where it was your fish-headed wife.
Yeah, fish-headed wife, and it's this is a white woman from America. Nobody says fish-headed. That's not a thing.
No, the other part of it was that I don't know even of very liberal college-educated white women in the United States that call Indian women Asian.
Fishheads or Asian, yeah.
Yeah.
Either. But
yep, you made that up, and that is because that's what you've heard.
Yeah, but the other thing, again, outside of the fact that obviously it's not some liberal educated white woman, When the picture of the guy dropped, literally, like, everyone was like, no, this didn't happen. The bus entirely clapped after this happened, meaning this did not happen. This woman was not doing this to this man. This is not a thing. But that's the
So
thing is, like, they actually did, like, he filed the lawsuit and they thought it has cause, and they did actually offer to settle with him because it would
right.
have just been cheaper for them to do that, which
No,
might.
absolutely. That's generally what it is like, okay, this guy's maybe got no basis to the case, but he's got just enough circumstantial stuff going on that
Mhm,
it'd be easier just to pay him to go away.
exactly.
And that works like 8 out of 10 times.
Hmm.
And if you don't come from an honor culture, like you don't care. That's
Exactly.
one of
Which
uh
both of these individuals are white women that I am referencing to, both my boss and this employee. So arguably they both do come from an honor culture. But my boss has been freaking out because when when you're in deep shit, usually in a corporation, there's a certain kind of language and a certain cadence that like your boss and HR will start to use with you. And it's very much like they will never speak in absolutes in regards to what is going to happen or how long things are going to take. And she was like freaking out because she's just like, well, I mean, I did everything right, like I should be okay. And they're all just kind of like, and so she, thankfully, she's had a day off today, so I don't have to deal with it. But the past 2 days, I have probably been in her office, God, probably between like 2.5, 3 hours, like over the course of 2 days of just her like just like freaking out and writing these emails and trying to like show cause as to why she did this. And she had some cause, but like they're obviously like if we have a part-time employee, for example, and they're technically registered as seasonal and they're no call no showing and they don't respond to any messages whatsoever, you can't email them, you can't phone call them, they don't respond to letters, there's mandatory training that they have to do that they're not doing, and they're essentially just ghosting you on all fronts. If you can prove that, if that's the case, yeah, you can just terminate them. But the cause is like job desertion or no showing or whatever, like
yeah.
vacating the post. If you just terminate somebody and you don't give cause, and then they file a complaint before you realize that anything has happened, and then you go, oh no, I fired them because they ghosted, and then they have text evidence of them asking you for hours about 3 weeks ago, and you telling them that you didn't have space on the roster when we did actually have space on the roster and we did have some hours available.
Yeah, you're shit out of luck on that
You're
one.
shit out of luck on that one. She's dumb enough to have done this, and I will feel bad for her if she gets fired, but at the same time, like the gif I posted on Tumblr was like that one black dude in the crowd with the drink where he's like, and just walks away. Like, that's exactly how I feel about it. Because if I was in charge instead of this woman, I wouldn't have fucking done that. A, because this individual, they do have some value as an employee. They do some annoying shit, but I know how to like hold them responsible and actually keep them accountable. She doesn't with this lady because she does absolutely nothing worthy of respect in the store. So nobody respects her or wants to listen to her. And this is coming on the heels of the other two managers in my store without any input from me having a private meeting with our district manager about how ineffective she is as a manager and how she does nothing for the team. Which I find hilarious that this is all happening at the same time.
That's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. But again, what do we say? Skill issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, skill issue. I mean, honestly, this is like a um you know, if you haven't been raised in, or if you've made it to a manager position in the business environment and you haven't been scared shitless of all the consequences of firing somebody,
Yeah.
that is, I highly doubt that corporate failed you on
Yeah.
that
No. Mm-mm.
front. Like you, like for me, like I've been through a lot of trainings like that where I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I do regularly have employees move on and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Which
But
happens. That happens.
it happens, and but I've had to fire one employee for cause.
Mhm.
And yeah, first thing I did was ask HR and be like, "Hey, they're just no calling, no showing left and right. Like I
Yeah.
can't keep up with it. Like it's
Mhm.
just it's not working out." And I got plenty of other people that are willing to fill their shoes. So and then just a little bit of documentation back and forth. And this is in like a place where you need that, and it was pretty easy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
really, it's not
It was
difficult. Like
skill
there
issue.
there are steps you could take in the private world. Usually every corporation, every business is a little bit different, but usually there's like layers to disciplinary actions. So
Right.
an official
So you
is
give them a
usually,
warning, and
yeah,
you have the documentation of the warning, first or
yeah.
second
So
warning.
usually
Like,
it's verbal
I
warning.
probably I shouldn't give someone benefit of the doubt because some people like maybe genuinely like this is the first manager position they've ever had,
Nope.
and nope. Oh, okay. Well, but I don't know. It's just like for me, it would make sense like to treat others as you would like to be treated, is
Correct.
kind of the thing.
So like I said,
And so,
in my company, there are different layers of like disciplinary action that, if you were on the receiving end of disciplinary action, you would want it to be fair and you would want it to be by the book and you want to have a chance to like correct your ways if you cared about keeping the job. So, first is a verbal warning, and then usually it's a written warning, and then it's a write up. Write ups suck. You can also go straight to write up if what you do is bad enough. Like if we had somebody once who like locked a customer's ring in a drawer in a random spot in the store and then they went on vacation. And we literally could not find this ring for 4 days. So I was able to buy time with the guest, but like we were literally just like, oh my God, this is a $4,000 ring. We're gonna have to pay out for this shit. Like this is bad. And then he comes back from vacation and he goes, oh no, I'm so sorry. I locked it in this drawer. And we find it and we're like, why the fuck did you do that? He's like, I'm sorry, I had to put it away, and then we got busy, and I forgot about it. So it sucked. We had to write him up for that because that's like you basically lost customer merch and didn't feel the need to tell anybody about it while you were gone. Which, if you had just texted me or anybody and went, hey man, I'm so sorry. I left a customer ring in this drawer. We got really busy and I didn't want to leave it unsecured, but I totally forgot about it. And I'm literally just now remembering it 1:30 in the morning or whatever the fuck. Like, that would have been okay. I would have been, all right, man, we got to be better. Like, we'll talk about this later. Thank you for letting us know. We really appreciate it. Like, that would have been it. And we would have gotten a verbal, like, like, please don't do that. We have a protocol. Okay, fine. Let's get back out there. That's it. That's all I would have fucking done. This lady didn't do anything with this lady. No verbal warning, no written warning, no write up, no counseling with a higher manager, which when shit gets really bad, usually the district manager has to come in. And the district manager, if you're really like fucking it up, is like, okay, well, unfortunately, you're going home today and we're going to have to decide about like what's going to happen in the future. And you're just kind of like on probation or something. She just went straight to termination and like didn't give any cause, and she's trying to prove that she had all of these conversations with her, and she can't prove any of them because in the official documentation in these one-on-ones she didn't fucking write anything. She put no notes in there. Nobody sees what they were talking about. It's not recorded. But what the employee does have, like I said, are text messages of her asking for hours and getting told that there aren't any hours available. And she did also talk to me on the phone. And what I told this employee was that you need to talk to our boss because I can't put people on the schedule. That's not actually in my duties. Like that falls under her. I don't have control over that. But in the meantime, what I would suggest is you can do some remote training at home and you can get a couple hours of that and you'll get a couple hours of pay, which isn't great. But if you just need some money, it's better than not fucking getting anything. And every quarter, there are recommended and mandatory trainings that you have to do, or like it's a huge problem. And if you're a part time seasonal individual and you don't do your recommended trainings, it is company policy that they can term you if you're hard ghosting, if you're not communicating and you're not doing anything. But if you're asking for hours and you were told that you could do training and you ostensibly make an attempt to do it and you still get termed for no fucking reason, that's wrongful termination. The company can get sued for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really took up some time there. That was a 20-minute intro. That's okay. That's okay. Hello everyone. We're
I
talking
don't know.
about
Do we have a pre-show at this point still, or
not
do we
really
have
because we still need the new intro video.
we need an intro video? Okay,
Which
we should
sorry,
prompt GPT about that or something.
we should prompt
Uh,
Matt, who will prompt GPT about it.
okay, so this brings me to our second section, which will be a diatribe for you again, which is that now that AOC is single again,
No, no,
when are you
no.
going to jump into her DMs?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I'm not touching that, man. No, no. Mm-mm. That is not the kind of Latina I were to go after if I were to go after a Latina right now. Also,
Okay, so here's can I share just a beautiful tweet from Chief of Staff of Ron Paul?
is it her fucking Hinge profile?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Let me just I don't think she's on the apps just yet.
All right.
And
Okay, hang on.
I don't know if you would.
All right, so we're live. We're going.
So
A testosterone-filled real man with handsome features and Buchananite views with a serious tool belt will melt her icy heart. It's always the same, no matter how they deny it. That's why Hillary was always such a bitch. Her man was a beta who snuck around with a cigar instead of taking care of business at home. Oh, no, man, I don't want it.
For the audience that's not aware, Daniel McAdams is the co-host of the Ron Paul Report.
Oh, God. Beautiful.
I love it.
So, first of all, I do I have Buchananite views? I don't think I do. I don't think Buchanan was an anarcho-capitalist.
He's adjacent, but not all the way there.
Okay, fair
sure.
enough. Could you imagine though?
You know?
Could you imagine, like again, hypothetically, against all odds? No, see, this is the thing. I don't even want to delve into the hypotheticals and be dating AOC and turning her into an ANCAP. I don't want it. I don't want this. I don't want this.
You could just Ben, listen to me.
What?
You could restart your life right now. Move back to New York.
No.
And
no. No. Oh, Jesus, save me. No. I just like I don't want it, man. Like I just no. Like she's no.
Okay. So okay, we're gonna have to elevate because you're abdicating.
I'm what?
We're gonna have to. You're abdicating.
I am abdicating.
That we're gonna have to elevate this to some other right-wing influencer. So
Cybersmith and Alex Stein. Okay, I was gonna say Cybersmith and AOC could hook up.
That would get interesting fast, but I was gonna say Alex Stein has already described AOC as big booty Latina. He obviously has a thing for her, and I think they could find common ground. Like he's enough of a wild card that like he could just probably work his way around and then circle in. You know what I mean? It's like a spiral search that
just like it just kind of comes around from the back and just like gets in there. Yeah.
And okay, so there's Alex Stein.
Garand Thumb.
Who else? Grant. But wait, isn't he? Is he not still with like the whatever gun booth babe?
No, I think he's just. I think he's just out there, man. I think he's just a freelance penis at this point.
Okay, mercenary.
Keep it. Yeah. French Foreign Legion. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Not even French Foreign Legion, just some PMC down in the Congo in the 70s. Like, it just doesn't matter.
Just getting paid to shoot at the UN. Oh, it's born in the wrong decade.
So, it could happen sooner than you think. Just let's be real. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now people are pointing out that she went to go freeze her eggs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that happened after the breakup or before.
I think that was recent. Wasn't that a recent thing where she was like doing that?
I think it was within the week.
Basically. Yeah. So, But they said, what I read is that she quietly separated from her fiance like 2 years ago, and they just never announced it.
For real.
For real. Yeah, that's, you can look that up.
That's
Like
even more interesting
AOC
because
quietly separates from fiance. Like that's what I've been reading, that they actually did it quietly 2 years ago.
no,
And this
here's the thing is
mm,
everybody's been pointing out, or I've seen multiple people point out
mm,
that AOC has like a very low net worth for any member of Congress, and that being
mm,
engaged to somebody but not married means that you can share assets but not have
mm.
to disclose them
Correct.
under the financial
What is
disclosure
her
rules.
ex-fiance's net worth?
What is it? His name is what I'm looking for is
His name? Daniel
Riley Reed.
Da-
Riley Roberts.
Riley Reed. Wrong. Riley Roberts. Okay. What is his net worth?
He's a web designer.
Oh, of course he is. Missile Launch says AOC belongs to Andrew Jackson anyway.
How's that work out?
How does
Puerto
that work
Rico?
out? Yeah.
If anything, it'd be Andrew Hamilton.
Andrew Hamilton. Yeah. Like, get it right.
Uh, it says somewhere between 1 and 1.5 million. But if he was living in New York City, I'm sorry, that is pretty much just like not being on welfare
Yeah.
net worth.
Yeah. That's really not like, there's actually nothing suspicious there necessarily.
Yeah. That's
Wasn't her
interesting.
fiance under investigation once upon a time for something?
I don't
No, the
recall.
Tumblr guy. Oh, a new Jackson? The one always hunting for. Oh, you mean that really effeminate, somehow straight guy who's been on Tumblr for a long time? Yes.
I can't place it. Oh, wait.
Like, okay, so I don't know a new Jackson very well. I see him in my notes sometimes. We're in similar circles. I he is like a perpetual orbiter to me. Not orbiter of me, but he's just like a guy who just orbits different women on Tumblr. Like that's just what he does. And he's also like all of his posts are very very feminine. Like I really don't know how else to put it. Like he comes off as like very high energy, which is cool, but like yeah, the one always hunting for shawties. Do you know how little that narrows it down? That could be many. Yes. She's got a big enough nose. He does joke about going after them big nose shotties. He did also recently pass the bar, I guess I saw at one point, but like I don't know. Like I've never really interacted with him. I don't feel the need to.
Okay,
Like
I'm gonna just be real. I've been a longtime follower of him,
okay,
and I still follow him, which
okay,
means I have been that uh, turned astray just yet.
okay.
He makes if I still follow you on Tumblr, it's because you haven't posted something so retarded that like I'll just like
Unfollow you for
instantly
it.
unfollow you.
Yeah,
Now if you're just mildly amusing or maybe just like
he
not
is amusing.
annoying, I probably won't unfollow you either. But I don't know, maybe we should have him on the show. Like I feel like you ripped on him without even like
I don't
I don't
know.
even know.
Like I don't know. Okay, Missile Launch says he's the Johnny Bravo of this Tumblr circle. I wouldn't call him Johnny Bravo. Like that's not really what I'd use. Like maybe I was a little bit too harsh, but like I don't know. Like it's just he seems like a giggle squee guy is the best way I can put it. Like that's really what it comes down to. He's a giggle squee guy.
Okay, I mean, okay.
Orbiting is
I
like his shtick. Like that's the thing. Like that's okay. That's a really better way of putting it. Like effeminate is not really what I mean. It's kind of adjacent to that. But the fact that like his thing is that he orbits women on Tumblr who are also having some sort of like Tumblr popularity is odd. It's odd behavior, especially for an individual who is old enough to have passed the bar. Like it's odd, man. If you're in your teenage years or early 20s or middle 20s, let's be real, extended adolescence, okay. And I don't know how old he is, but I assume he's probably like at least middle to late 20s. It's You
Based on
gotta
how long you've been on Tumblr, like, probably. Yeah.
probably, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. But like, that's your shtick, is that you orbit women on Tumblr, but you don't actually ever land one.
Right. Where's that go?
Yeah,
I feel like you should at a certain point be like, okay, like barking up the wrong tree or something like
exactly.
that. But I haven't seen this. I have not noticed this out of them. I don't really see it.
No, that's fair.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I haven't observed this. So
I
I
admittedly,
would
again,
give him a chance to defend himself. That
I
was where I'm at. If you've seen this and you have receipts, like that's where I would
I
make.
do have receipts. I could give you the URLs of individuals that I have seen him kind of orbit.
Okay.
I also don't want to say their URLs on the air because I also
No,
do
that's
follow some
okay.
of them, and they're nice people, and it's not like on them that this guy is orbiting them. And again, here's the thing. I am going to give the caveat. Maybe I was a little too harsh. I don't know, but this is like what I've seen, and I've seen him in the notes of these other women,
I mean,
and
let's just be real. Like compared to Cybersmith, this seems pretty tame.
yeah,
As
no, that's fair. Yeah, like this thing on the spectrum of like that's yeah, like this is not an Avengers level threat by any means.
persistent on social media with women is very different from having very extreme fetishes
Yeah,
that you publicly
yeah,
disclose.
yeah.
And I like we we allow Cybersmith to come on and talk and hang out. And
Yep.
I don't think that we should give a worse rap to a new Jackson than we do the Cybersmith.
Okay, you know what? That's a very good point. You know what? I'm actually yeah, like that's a good point. So yeah, I guess if he wanted to come onto the show, that would be fine, and if he wants to give me grief for what I said, that would also be fine. But I've just
But when I phrase it like that, like it
yeah,
kind of
it's like yeah, it's just like yeah, yeah.
okay,
It could be
cool.
worse. It could be worse. Missile Launch says it's funny when he giggle squeeze on a serious post and people get mad at him. Sometimes, yeah. No, I have seen a couple.
Trolling is an art, and I
Mm-hmm.
respect a quality troll.
I do too. Trolling is AR. You are right.
Okay, I guess we've sort of settled the AOC
Thing. Yeah.
dating question
Mm-hmm.
to a small degree. I could also see some like Nick Fuentes is still single too, right? He's about the same age, so
And they're both Hispanic.
and they're both Hispanic. Yeah,
And they were roommates.
I'm seeing some
Yeah.
interlocking things right here. It's
That
like a
would
love
be
hate thing.
Nick Fuentes and AOC would be the most like normie centrist fusion at the end of the day. Like if they had the ability to kind of like bring themselves to like she brings him maybe a little left and he brings her right, they're gonna meet in the middle and they're just gonna be like we're basically in the square in the center that just says I want to grill. That's it. Like that's where they'd be with that.
No, because I think what Nick wouldn't give up on is the nationalism,
True.
and what AOC wouldn't give up on is the socialism.
True.
So you just end up with national
Hmm.
socialism.
National socialism, you say? Being ushered in by a brown man and a brown woman. Hmm.
I
That actually tracks a lot.
No, I think you got to look at the history of fascism
Mm.
in Latino or basically. Here's the deal: like every Central South American country, include and Spain included, right? Like
Mm.
just completely pendulums between like Franco style nationalism
And what they have
and
now.
Peronism,
Yeah.
and like Hugo Chavez and Castro and whatever and stuff like that.
Death
So
Chilada says Nat Sock is the natural state of Latinos, and I could see that.
it's like a resting point, but like
Mm.
USA doesn't let them go to that,
Exactly.
right? Like only like Bukele in El Salvador was allowed to come to like the resting state at the bottom of the pendulum between nationalism and socialism for a Latino country. So, um, and I know there are subtle differences between fascism and National Socialism and stuff like that.
Sure.
That Gelada's pointing out.
Yes. Yes, Death Gelada. Thank you. Yes.
We, but on a spectrum, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a little bit closer to that than
On
it
the
is
spectrum,
to
you could say.
the spectrum,
Yes.
which we all are.
So
It's a spectrum because it includes everything.
that
It has
reminds
to
me.
go.
So this is going to be titillating for the audience, but after the show, I actually have to tell you something kind of funny that happened to me recently that involves the spectrum. But we'll go over this later because I'm not ready to make this
I
announcement yet.
am enticed. Okay,
Yes.
so other things we had been discussing the on-off truce between the U.S. and Iran,
The Hormuz
and guess what?
situation. It's off.
The situationship it's back off.
It's back off. Which I love how like both sides are now doing this. Like Iran clearly is having an advantage here, but like both sides are like, yeah, we won, they lost, we're not talking about this anymore. And it's just like, all right.
Well, at a certain point, I have to wonder if there is like Iran like isn't winning outright in a way that they would want to, right? Like, because
Yeah.
if they won outright, it would look like the U.S. fleet is sunk and our bases are destroyed,
Yeah.
and tens of thousands of U.S. servicemen are dead.
Yeah.
That's what that would look like. Whereas, like, obviously, like the U.S. victory isn't complete because, like, their war goals, if we're going to go like on paradox rules here, is that your leadership is dead and we've correctly funded rebels in your territory, and now they're taking over the capital and re-administering the state and stuff like that. We've done regime change. But on the spectrum between has Iran achieved their war goals and the U.S. achieving their war goals, I think the U.S. is a little bit closer because the U.S.
A little.
It continually just like obviously the thing is like if we suddenly started experiencing like our bridges collapsing not due to an idiot driving a ship into them,
Skill issue. Or just
or
general neglect.
or just general neglect, like that would be cause for concern for Americans. If they could touch us at all on our shore, that would be cause for concern. They can they they are starting to be able to touch us on at our bases is the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where it's like, why do we have all these dudes here? This is what Ron Paul talked about for the last 25 years.
Why do we have all of these people in military bases across the globe unless we're an occupying force?
Well, it's not even that. It's like they become vulnerable. They become targets to all of these attacks. It doesn't even have to be a state actor. It can be terrorist attacks from militias or whatever group. Scoob.
It's the Scoob.
And we put them in a position where they're vulnerable, right? Like it would be better. We would be better off if we just left all these Middle East bases and all we had was the U.S. fleet, coasting around in the Indian Ocean doing all this damage. It's like it was legitimately stupid that we have these bases that are just sitting targets to a ballistic missile. All you have to do is calculate a little bit of gravity.
Unless we keep those bases there on purpose, knowing that they are tempting targets, which would give us an example to flex our military might in the Middle East.
Well, and that's the flip side. It's like, how many of these bases might actually be paper tigers? Now, the thing is, like, I know people who've been deployed to some of these bases,
Same.
like in Kuwait
Exactly.
and in Iraq and stuff. Um, but okay, what if the actual personnel count at that base is 1/10 of what the U.S. government says it is?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh yeah, it's just a place to soak up missiles.
Yep.
And there's a couple hard bunkers underneath the ground. That would be smart. It's smarter than they actually are, I
Exactly.
think.
We haven't had that kind of genius since World War II, unfortunately. Inflatable
Yeah,
tanks and
like
aircraft
D-Day,
and.
yeah, the inflatable tanks and on D-Day and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, although there was a there was one where the Germans dropped like a paper bomb,
Mm-hmm.
like on a paper tank, because they were like, haha, we caught you. We know this is a fake base or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh
So
yeah,
what?
I think the administration said like expect oil price uncertainty into 2027 at this point, which
Yeah.
is just
At this
like,
point.
okay.
Okay. Cool. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about because the last time, like, we had an episode, a major episode about the Hormuz situation ship, was we were talking about how there was ostensibly some sort of shitty peace deal in place, and gas had started to come down a little bit because of that. So did the price of oil a little bit. But the big thing, the reason they were doing it is because most major countries that require oil, or excuse me, depend on oil that comes from the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. God, I sound like fucking Trump talking about the
The
cyber.
Gulf
The
of
cyber.
yeah.
They were like several weeks away from basically either depleting their petroleum reserves or coming close to depleting their petroleum reserves and not having anything else, which was like a collective sigh of relief. But how many weeks, like, what was left? Because it was coming real close, and I feel like with the way things are back to the way they were, are we not rapidly approaching that wall again? Unless like it's not as closed off as they're saying. Because like I feel like there should be a little bit more panic in everyone's voices if they're really, really, really close to like losing or just not having anything left. Like I think Australia had kind of talked about it, how they were coming real close. Um yeah. So like
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to about a month from now,
mm,
my Australian friend will come back from Australia, and I
mm,
will ask him how they
okay.
are doing over there.
Okay.
Um, he lives here in the States now, but he goes back
Mm.
from time to time. Especially uh, right now, it's winter for them, so
Oh yeah, so
it's
yeah, why not be
more
here?
pleasant.
Yeah.
And okay, the other thing besides AOC, besides um, the harmonization ship.
Oh,
And we talked a little bit about astronomy stuff, but
mm,
the eclipse we weren't going to see from the States.
yeah.
They'll get another one in a year or so.
Yeah. That's it seems
Uh,
like there's been a lot of eclipses, which is nice.
it's statistically there's one every 18 months,
Oh,
so
okay.
just got to travel to see it.
Yeah.
Is the problem. And now this one was over Spain, so like a lot of people in Europe got to see it
Good
because
for
they
them.
could easily travel to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one next year that will go over Central Europe
Hmm.
that I think will be the most witnessed eclipse in human history because of population,
That'll
right?
be cool.
But um,
There is
currently,
actually.
the 2017 one or the 2024 one might be the most witnessed in history
Okay.
because of, again, population and like people.
Yeah.
It's easy to travel in the U.S. across places. It's not like you have to go to like South Cameroon on a jet to see stuff like that.
Or like 100
There was
miles.
the
Mm.
did you see the um S- Sueta, Ceuta.
Oh, southern Spain being invaded by all those Moroccan immigrants
Well, yeah, it's on the African side,
on the
but yeah,
African side. But yes, I did see that. That's crazy.
something like 60,000 people, and it's just like, okay, at what point
Is
does
this?
it? It's just like, okay, it looks like Saving Private Ryan,
Mm,
but they don't have guns as they're getting on the beach.
yeah. Also, like, at what point it's like, okay, 60,000 men, essentially. There are maybe some women and children here, but mostly I'd say 90%, 60,000 men of military
Oh,
fighting
even
age.
90%. It was like 99.
Okay,
I
99,
can see a
60,000,
picture of a single woman that was there at Ceuta.
60,000 men of fighting age occupy a territory they do not own. They invade it illegally and they are occupying it and they are claiming it as their own. Doesn't matter that they're civilians and they're unarmed. How do you not see this as an actual invasion? Like that, this is a military or a paramilitary occupation of an area by a large ass group of people, and they're just not leaving, and they are claiming the territory, and they are like fucking attacking people who live there and going into their
Oh,
houses, and
the
like,
stats that came out of that were horrific.
dude, I yeah,
And
insane.
and and here's the deal. Like we're ANCAPs, right? So
Yeah,
we don't necessarily believe in a nation state based on coercion, but
but
you can have a nation based on voluntary association.
mm-hmm,
And like the Stefan Molyneux, I'm primarily Molyneuxist on this stuff.
mm-hmm.
Uh which I don't know where you fall on Molyneux, but I'd be curious actually. Have
I
you
it's
listened to or watched a lot of Molyneux?
I not a lot, and it has been admittedly it's been a minute since I've consumed any of his content, but I am not anti Molyneux. I can tell you that much.
Okay. I think like he had this. It's I wouldn't call it post-libertarian
Mm,
reaction to stuff, but it was
mm,
basically like this. Um, we need to actualize on what Rothbard was talking about and what Hoppe talked about, and then um, like instigate this basically idea that what and Dave Smith I think is fairly good at this as well, and he participates in the politics game, which is a mixed bag, and I think he's gotten burned a lot on that in the
mm,
last couple years. But he's generally right when he says which solution is closest to what the ANCAP solution would be. It might not actually, um, it might not actually be like the least government solution,
mm.
right? Like if there were ANCAP parks, do you think people would be allowed to shoot up heroin in them and harass children? The answer would be no.
No, like
But when it comes to, oh, the libertarian solution in people's mind, or people associate libertarianism with, like, oh, yeah, of course,
of
a
course,
heroin addict can sit on the swing set and tell little girls that he thinks they're pretty.
exactly.
Like, that's just free speech and bodily autonomy. And it's like, no, that's not
No,
actually the
no,
solution.
no. I actually had a
Sometimes
conversation with
like property
somebody.
rights are very strongly enforced,
Yes,
and like a lot of these people would be removed from society in a lot of ways.
so to
And I
speak.
think we talked about this a little bit before, is that like in a lot of ways like an actual ANCAP society would be more strict
Mm,
than what we have right now, because you would have to respect property rights everywhere you go,
yeah,
and you would have to not be a nuisance everywhere you go.
yeah.
Um, and so that's where a lot of people are just coasting on the socialism of like these natural rights that we baked into the system, thinking that we were part of this greater culture that would be able to handle stuff like that.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, it's like why HOAs exist at this point, and it's only going to get worse as
Yeah,
far as like privatization. Whereas like I love public lands and stuff like that, but as long as people keep trashing them, it's like you're going to ruin it for everybody
exactly,
else.
exactly. And it's funny that you bring this up because I was saying before that I had a conversation with somebody recently who I'm going to say this person doesn't know a whole lot about anarcho-capitalism necessarily. Like they have a vague understanding of it from their time on the internet, but they basically associate it more with libertarianism. And a comment that they made was that essentially it is just used to defend and encourage degeneracy. And I was just like, okay, I can see how you would come to that thought because unfortunately, most people associate like the anti-state right-wing political views, especially in the United States, with the mainstream Libertarian Party, which is quite frankly one of my least favorite political parties ever. They are the Big L Libertarian Party because all they fucking do is take big L's that they primarily hand themselves, just being retards. But again, I understand.
Jeremy Kaufman had a great dive into the psychology of why these people are like that.
Mhm.
And as somebody who spent time around the LP, um, and believes in the charter mission of the LP, they literally just need to be disbanded at this point.
Dude, at this point, like it's preserve what honor you have left politically and disband and splinter into more groups and just do what you will in those groups. You'll have more hardline groups, you'll have more, I don't know, progressive groups, I'm sure. But it's just so bad. But this is the thing. Like I understand why this person has this view because again, that's what we see with libertarians. And that's why a lot of anarcho capitalists, and I say a lot of anarcho capitalists, I am also including the anarcho capitalists that we might not be on good terms with right now, look at the Libertarian Party as no, that's not us. These people are retards. We're not libertarians. We're not the people going, what if the child consents, though? That's not us. You see that a lot on the left in terms of like gender reassignment and trans shit, which
Yeah.
is interesting to me that you they just don't look at it like that. And then on the right wing, you unfortunately you do have libertarians who argue for like lowering of the age of consent or removing the age of consent or a lot of things in that regard. Like they here's another thing too, like comes to prostitution is another big example. That's something different. And I really don't want to go into the whole like would it be better to have legal or illegal prostitution, like what laws would be better. Because as a libertarian former and current ANCAP, the idea of somebody being able to sell their body for money to an individual and both people are adults and they are both consenting, I don't like it. I don't think it's moral. I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should sell or purchase. But I can't quite say, okay, no, that should be illegal. The government should be involved. That should not be allowed. Even as a Christian, I can't say that because, again, while I would never engage in it, and I don't think it's right, and I don't think you should do it, I can't say, okay, if you want to do it really bad, the government will come and kill you. Like at the end of
Right.
it, yeah,
Yeah, that's always the halt stop,
yeah,
which is like, am I willing to kill somebody over this?
yeah,
Because that's ultimately what the rules enforcement is. Because like you have to always be able to escalate above what the initial
yeah.
infraction is,
That's
and
the
if they
monopoly
continue
on
to
force.
escalate beyond this,
Yeah,
but okay, so of course property owners have that
property owners
right,
do
which is where we talk about or Mike, we haven't talked about that a lot, but like
here and there.
I think that's fairly given that like
Mm-hmm.
somebody's on your property, um,
Get off of my
and
property.
don't obey the rules, you can invite them to leave, or we're going to escalate until you leave,
Yeah,
and that's where that force comes in,
mm-hmm.
and that's where part of the rules comes in, right? Because it's like, oh, I really dislike that my um parents-in-law, my mother-in-law doesn't use a coaster
Mm-hmm.
on my table. I'd really wish they would, but
Am I
I will
willing to?
politely ask them to.
Yeah,
I won't ask them to leave without it. It's not worth
it's not worth it.
escalating
Also,
beyond.
it's but you can use that same logic we were talking about before, where it's like, am I willing to have my mother-in-law killed if she refuses to use a coaster? Most sane people are going to go no. Again, this is
So the thing
assuming
is, it's like it's not a real rule.
no.
It's just a preference
It's a
at that
preference.
point.
It's a preference. It's not now.
The thing is, like,
However,
I can still have that preference and think that like it's not the greatest thing
yeah,
that like you are not using a coaster on my table and I'm gonna have to clean that up and hopefully I don't have to restain it and stuff like that.
exactly. Like it's tedious. It's
It
annoying, but it's not. Yeah,
um but like the damage I would do by kicking you out of my house for not doing that is way higher than
disproportionate.
me cleaning, yeah, it's cleaning the table. So and that's where a lot of those different rules come in. It's like,
Mm,
and that's the fundamental thing I think the LP, the Libertarian Party, does not understand, or doesn't actualize about libertarianism, is that they basically say if um just because something is permissible on a moral standpoint, like it's preferable compared to, killing the person,
mm-hmm,
basically, which is where the non-aggression principle ends up, right? Because it's preferable to killing the person doesn't mean we have to condone it. And then there is a point where like they cross over those frequencies, which is like, okay, so a consenting adult
mm,
using drugs isn't really a problem. All they're hurting themselves
mm,
is themselves. But if you're doing it in a public park in front of children,
mm.
you're not just
Hurting yourself.
affecting yourself.
You're
You're
affecting the
not just
children.
hurting yourself. And that's the thing, like they just don't process at
Yeah.
a certain level. And it's like, oh, um, what I need car insurance to operate a vehicle on the public roads? What's next? I need a insurance to operate my toaster in my home? And it's like, yes, you do have insurance to operate a toaster in your home. It's called home insurance or renter's insurance. Either way, you pay for it through your rent, because your owner that, or your landlord is owns that home. They have insurance to
Mm,
insure against fire and against, bad electronics and stuff like
mm.
that. Um,
You can also
and
pay for your own separate rental insurance,
and you can also pay for your own separate rental insurance.
which I
But
actually paid. Fun fact: I paid like through the month of November, I think, for my renter's insurance because the fire season this year like worried me enough that like back in March when they were really like we had
oh
no
yeah,
snow, I was just like past couple of years have been really wet and there's been a lot of vegetation overgrowth. Like I've been remarking
yeah.
how green the desert's been and now it's this fucking dry and it's just like I'm gonna pay through like the rest of this year just to be safe. Just to be safe. And that is a decision I made as a private individual to acquire private insurance for myself. I was not forced to do that. My
Yeah.
landlord does not actually require me to have renter's insurance. They probably,
But
like you said, they do have their own insurance on their side, which they have to pay for, which protects against like fire damage or I don't know, acts of God, a vehicle crashes through the building or
yeah,
something like that.
no, it's just like the free market.
Mm,
In a free market situation, almost all situations require some level of insurance,
yes.
and it's paid for. And honestly, at a certain point, the like car insurance, and I was thinking about this today actually a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Car insurance is way too expensive for people who actually purchase car insurance, and it's way too cheap for people
Who should be
who
paying more for it?
should be paying for more for it. In fact, there should be a whole class of people that if they ever get behind the wheel of a vehicle like should have a SWAT team search on them because they're
Yep.
like that much of a risk.
Yep.
And then there's a whole like certain people they should just look at the numbers and be like, okay, I guess I'm riding a bike or public transportation for the rest of my life,
Or I just need an Uber fund.
or an Uber fund, yeah, anything like that. And the rest of us could enjoy very cheap insurance if it wasn't for this very small class of people. But like we are way too lenient with like our ability to reissue licenses and stuff like that. And like it's because the state's taken over the function of vehicle licensing and like insurance requirements that it is so low. Like people think it's onerous, but like if it was just purely a free market function and you were purely just driving on free market roads, privately owned roads where they required insurance for XYZ, like those restrictions would eliminate a solid 15 to 20% of drivers.
Yep. And that's all it would take, really, for like.
It's all it would take, really.
Yeah. So one other thing I did actually want to go over. It's kind of a two-parter. One would be the shooting at the In-N-Out in Idaho, which I think happened last week,
Oh, yeah.
where I'm still flabbergasted that this individual who, again, did not hit the shooter, but engaged the shooter with suppressive fire with a handgun, was using suppressed 5.8 by 28.
It's
5.7,
5.7.
excuse me, 5.7. 5.7 by 28. Which, in my mind, defeats the purpose of the 5.7 round for what it was intended for, because it was armor piercing originally, wasn't it?
No, go ahead. Finish
No,
your
I was gonna
thought.
say,
I have a caveat about that.
okay, which like even suppressed, like it doesn't make it subsonic. It doesn't make it quiet. It's less loud, which is kind of a similar thing you have with 5.56. Subsonic 5.56, I think it does exist, but like for the most part, you're not shooting suppressed 5.56 using subsonic 5.56 ammo. You're shooting suppressed 5.56, and the suppressor mitigates some of the audible damage that 5.56 does. Doesn't necessarily make it hearing safe, but it could make it hearing safer. But yeah, like I'm still bewildered over the choice to conceal carry a suppressed 5.7 handgun, which is not disapproval. Again, conceal carrying on your body a suppressed handgun is very based. It's very based. It's also not easy. Um, but yeah, that's my thought. The fact that this guy, but I also want to talk about how, like at the end of this, how at 12:01 tomorrow morning, suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs are no longer attached to the NFA. But first, I want to talk with
Wait,
caveats. Caveats.
yeah, I was gonna say.
So here's the thing. For me, that's the case because my state, Utah, joined in the GOA's lawsuit and backed them. So the GOA and Utah and I think a few other states are also included in this lawsuit. So, but yeah, I want to go back and I want to talk about how this man engaged an active shooter. And this guy literally like was posting on his social media about how you need to get out and train and like has like the exact same stance with the hat he was shooting the guy with that he actually posed with, which was kind of based. But suppressed 5.7 by 28 to me is just kind of bonkers. Like that would be your choice. And Max, you ostensibly do you have thoughts about this because it looks like you're deep in research right now.
Okay, I have both I have my brother and my father both own FN 5.7s and suppressors, and I have shot a lot of FN 5.7s suppressed.
Yeah.
And let me say, it is a laser gun.
Really?
That is the thing about 5.7. It's extremely flat.
That's true.
It is
actually.
it is it's gonna deliver a really decent, accurate shot as long as you're a good shot,
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely. Um, so let me just look up.
So while you're looking that up, that is another thing that people are talking about on the internet, that this individual engaged the active shooter and didn't hit him. And a lot of people were being very critical about it. And he was engaging the shooter, I think, at a distance of 90 yards.
Yeah, it was something like that. And the thing is that like shots near target are almost as good as shots on
Yeah,
target.
this is the thing.
Yeah,
Suppressive
especially
fire
the
is still effective fire.
yeah, suppressive fire is still effective fire. And I think the chances of making those shots with a 9mm or a 40 or 45 or
Are
any
not,
other caliber that somebody would be normally carrying are actually about half
yeah.
of what he would have for that.
Okay.
Now, the the effect on target difference
Mm-hmm.
is not negligible, right? Because if you're going to shoot a standard like 124 grain out of a 9mm pistol at 4 inches, this is what I was looking up.
Mm-hmm.
You're somewhere between 340 and 365 foot-pounds of
Mm-hmm.
force. Okay. Now, for those of us that have watched a lot of um, police cams or other defensive
Yeah.
shootings,
Okay. Ooh.
here's the deal. Um, it still takes, unless it's a direct headshot or to the spinal cord or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's still going to take 3 to 5 shots of 9mm to incapacitate a threat.
Yeah.
Like they are still a lethal threat until they have exsanguinated or been basically turned into hamburger on their limbs
Or
or
you get
something like
lucky and
that.
you score a central nervous system hit
Yeah,
somehow.
and that's what I was talking about. Like one shot to the head obviously is
Yeah.
always going to be fatal. Um, and so FN 57 um is going to carry its velocity a little bit better as a
Mm-hmm.
lighter cartridge,
Mm-hmm.
especially at 80 to 90 yards. And the terminal effect on the target
Mm-hmm.
is going to be relatively similar. I would say somebody getting shot 5 times by FN 57 versus like
9.
9mm,
Mm-hmm.
it's you're gonna feel bad for them either way,
Yeah.
as far as like how much tissue damage they experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Now the foot force at 100 yards is going to be under 150 foot-pounds or
Mm-hmm.
so. So it's going to be half of what 9 is. But let's look up
Okay. See
just
that?
to see what 100 yards is.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to drop to around 190 for that 9mm.
Okay.
And that's the thing about having a lightweight projectile, is that it retains its energy
True.
better over a longer
Distance.
distance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a very niche case
Yeah.
that we're talking about, that only that I want my field pistol that I can shoot 100 yards at and it has good effect on target
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Um, I I think there wasn't a better use case than engaging a target at 100 yards with your suppressed FN pistol
Mm-hmm.
than this.
Yeah.
Or your suppressed FN pistol is probably the best on-person unit you can carry that's short of a PDW
Yeah.
for this specific use case.
Like if you have an
And what is
MP5,
the odds that it actually happened?
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just wild.
That's it's
Uh,
wild. It's also, I want to, like, again, there's all these people who are talking about how because he missed the shots, it was like, oh yeah, he's such a hero, he missed. And it's just like, usually in these situations when the active shooter starts to be engaged by people, even if they're not shot at, the entire thing falls right the fuck apart. Like all of a sudden, they're not the manic badass they thought they were. They're getting shot at. It's scary. Um, they like as the guy put it, his bravado crumbled, and which actually happened after they started engaging him.
Yeah.
He ran away and shot himself in the head. He was like, "All right, I'm done." And there was another notable thing. I was reading reports about what happened. There was another individual there who was armed and tried to engage the shooter, but didn't have time because he was not carrying with one in the chamber.
Yeah.
You saw that,
slide.
right? Israeli carry gets you fucking killed. You racking a slide under a normal condition. Excuse me, one sec. Clear?
I guess so. Yeah, it's yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah. So racking a slide, normal condition.
My 9, or is that a USP?
That is it. Hang on, let me make sure I'm not showing the serial number side. USP.
Okay, yeah.
I converted it to a tactical version. I put a rail on it.
Nice.
Yeah, right. So racking the slide, normal conditions. It is the comfort of my living room. My hands are dry. I've been sitting down. This firearm has not been carried on my person. It's been sitting in a leather holster. It is well oiled. It is clean. It hasn't been shot in a while. I haven't trained with it like I should. That being said, this slide right now is very easy to use. Now your hands are sweaty. It's 90 degrees outside, and there is some fucking weirdo less than 100 yards away with a rifle, or at least what was it, a rifle or a PDW? What the fuck did he have?
No, I thought he had some AR variant.
Yeah, something like that. So, okay, let's assume it's an AR variant. Somebody is shooting at you with 5.56 from less than 100 yards, and you're just exposed. Your hands are sweaty. You got adrenaline going. You are not necessarily going to be able to manipulate your slide with enough focus and enough energy to put that fucking round in the chamber and actually turn your firearm into something you can use to defend yourself. So all of that fucking boomer bullshit about, I don't carry with one in the chamber. If I have to use it, I'll just rack the slide. It's just like you don't have time. You do not have time. Generally, people are closer to you when you are defending yourself with a handgun. Yeah. And in the time it takes you to rack a slide, you can be stabbed 5 to 10 times in a critical spot and not realize it's happening until after. It takes that little time to fuck you up. It takes way too much time to rack the slide. When you draw, you need a round in that fucking chamber and you need to be ready to tango. You need to be ready to go immediately. And this motherfucker found out the hard way. Luckily, he lived. But what if that was it, dude? What if your family was in the fucking car, you draw your fucking shitty Israeli carry SIG P320 because you're scared of the fucking thing going off. Oops, you don't rack the slide. You get drilled in the face, and then he shoots your family. Should have fucking had one in the chamber, idiot.
Or your hands are like this, and you just got one through the center mass. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, but yeah, back to this dude. Like, everyone's shitting on him, and they're just like, oh, no, I wouldn't have missed. I would have been on target. So people actually made, like...
Okay, yeah, post your groups.
Yeah, let's see, motherfucker. And there were people too, they were like, they shoot comp and stuff like that, and they're like, I wouldn't have missed. And it's like, you're not engaging targets at 100 yards, 90 yards, let's say even 75 yards with a handgun like that. Even if you practice that, there's a static target on your range, and you're like, ding, oh, got one, yeah. Like, even if that's the level of where you're at, or maybe you're consistently hitting a little bit, the target isn't fucking shooting at you. You can't simulate that unless you've been in fucking combat.
The props to the suppressed guy was that he, from what I've read, he did not get return fire because he was firing suppressed.
Oh, like the shooter couldn't tell where he was? Because the suppressor actually muffled the gunshot and made it difficult for the assailant to return fire. Huh. Interesting.
You love to see a defensive gun use with... So there's I know about the defensive gun use of the machine gun. You've heard of this, right?
The machine gun? No, I haven't.
You there's a recorded instance of a defensive gun use with a NFA registered machine gun.
Hmm.
Have you not read this story before?
So I just tried to look up DGU machine gun, and I got Diktiaryov machine gun, the
Nope.
DP-27. Oops.
Okay. NFA machine gun defensive use. All right. So, this is I'm trying to find the story of this. So the guy was transporting an AAC 556.
Okay.
Um, so this was Gary Finan,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a legal owner of a machine gun, and a group of bikers tried to basically like rob him.
Okay.
Um, and despite the self-defense circumstances, he was arrested, charged with murder, and faced a high-profile trial costing $45,000. This was back in the 80s when
Mm-hmm.
that was way
That
more
was
money.
yeah.
Before a jury acquitted him.
Mm-hmm.
So let me look up the Gary Finan story. Gary
That's some
Finan
shit.
story. Okay, this is uh um has nobody written this up?
Maybe not.
Okay, maybe here it is. So I just want to find Brandon Herrera did a video on it at some point. And so yeah, he used a machine gun in self-defense, and it
Based.
was one of the greatest moments of um like could we possibly get the NFA overturned because somebody finally used a machine gun in self-defense?
Real man of genius.
But it was 1984
Yeah.
before the FOPA
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it turned into anything.
No.
But there have been many cases of suppressors used in self-defense, especially
Mm-hmm.
people's home firearms. I think that this is the first time somebody I don't know of any other incident in which somebody used a suppressed firearm for self-defense outside of their home.
So I cannot, but a good example I was about to pull up was, did you see the video of the individual using a suppressed rifle to engage a bear that broke into his house?
Yeah, yes, I
I'm going
have
to
seen
pull
that.
that up. I'm going to pull that up because I think that'll be a good note to end on. And what I also want to talk about is that the GOA's lawsuit basically kind of, maybe, sort of, got suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs removed from the NFA. There are contingencies to that. You need to be a member of the GOA. You need to be in a state that filed. What is the legal term for when essentially you can join somebody's lawsuit in support of them?
It's like CERT or something like that.
Cert something, yeah, yeah. I don't remember. I should know this,
Or
but
something like
a
that.
couple of states, including Utah, my state, did that. So ostensibly, if the United States federal government does not launch an appeal by 11:59 p.m., essentially, like when it becomes 12 a.m. and it's tomorrow, suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs are off the NFA under those conditions. And Silencer Co. in Utah is straight up announced that they are going to just start selling them direct. They're not doing Form 4s. Like, they'll probably do a NICS check, but outside of that, there you go. No more Form 4, no more registration. Let me pull that up. Suppressed bear house kill. There we go. Oh man, so many gun tubers covering this. Do we want to do with Colin Noir? Do we want to do? Yeah, let's do Colin. Why not?
So, not too long.
I'll just skip him talking.
That was Colion.
Coleon, sorry, you're actually probably right. It is Coleon. Where's the actual video? I don't want to see this dude talking. Dude, Do you actually? Okay, there it is. It's like right at the beginning. It's
So
literally.
the stay expired today.
Mm,
But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if like suppressor shop. Let's just go see.
yeah, I'm very interested to see what will happen. It's very exciting times. Theater
My
mode.
brother was in the middle of finishing acquiring an SBR,
Hmm,
and I wonder. So he's probably not in one of the states that did this. Um,
unfortunate.
I wonder
I was gonna ask what
how.
state, but I don't
It's
want you to dox
well,
yourself. So,
Colorado.
oh, okay.
Colorado. I'm in Caparado, right? So,
Oh yeah, right.
in Colorado, uh, and the thing is, like, they just passed a new assault weapons ban,
Of
which like
course they did.
requires anybody wanting to acquire a semi-automatic weapon with a detachable magazine, they have to get like a hunter's ed training and safety training, and it's like 8 hours
Jeez.
of training. Um, and a pretty expensive course, and then you have to go through like a interview with like law enforcement and stuff like that. Um, and I just am not sure if I should ask him how his thing went
Hmm.
through,
I'm
because
gonna.
like, yeah, go ahead and play this.
Yeah. So this video's up. This is the very short video. So this is like nighttime footage of a guy in his home responding to a strange noise with a. Ooh, let's go to 4K. 4K for our viewers here. And that's it.
That's
Oh
8 shots
my god.
or 7 shots.
7 shots. Oh my god.
Your Boyd comes in.
I mean, what else do you say to that shit? Your husband just killed a bear in the kitchen. Like,
Well, okay. I guess she could identify that they were all suppressed shots,
yeah.
and thus, and it was all the same firearm.
Mm,
Thus, there was no other shots back,
exactly.
because you wouldn't want to say anything if you heard an exchange of gunfire,
Hmm.
right? Um, and I'm wondering how that guy just figured out it was a bear, right? Instead of something else. But
I mean, maybe he
when
didn't
we went
know it was.
downstairs, yeah, like what? How did it get into his house to begin with?
I
Like,
mean,
I live in bear country and I've never had a bear get in my house, but
who knows? Maybe it happened somehow. Maybe they had a party. Maybe they made. I don't know. But like, it makes sense to me. Like he hears a weird noise. He's responding slowly, room to room with a light, and he goes in there and he sees the fucking bear and just shoots it because it did kind of run at him. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, that's what you got to do
yeah,
in that
you got to do it.
situation. And
Unfortunately.
I'm sure it was just a black bear. It's not
Yeah.
like,
No, it didn't look very large. Like it looked like a black bear, or just something
no,
not.
but it's still something you don't want to play patty cake with,
Yeah, no, it's
right?
still a fucking bear. Like black bears. Actually, I don't. Black bears like attack a good number of people because people assume that they're not going to fucking do anything because they're just black bears. I think that's actually an issue. Like people assume black bears are not much of a threat because they're smaller, but like it's still a wild animal with claws that eats meat that's larger than you, so it will attack you.
Yeah, it's misleading because like one person per year gets killed by black bears in
Mm-hmm.
the United States. Like the U.S. is a big place,
Mm-hmm.
but Japan bear uh,
Careful,
deaths.
careful with that Google search.
Um, yeah, last year Japan, which has half as many people as the United States,
Mm-hmm.
uh, had 13 bear deaths,
Hmm.
or people killed by bears.
Interesting.
Yeah. And part of that is that we talked about, didn't we talk about this? How like the police had been calling upon people with, because like even the police in Japan don't really have guns or armories or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, especially in like rural prefectures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they look up the registry of like who has guns in the prefecture, to call in and be like, hey, could you come
Can you help
help kill
us?
this? Um, which is insane to be like, hey, I'm like the one legal gun owner in this like, county basically
The gun
of
Ronin.
Japan, and the police have to call me when there's a threat that they can't deal with. What does that say? And I will say, to if we have any Japanese followers that are listening or something like that, I believe black powder firearms are much less restrictive in Japan than center fire
I
or
believe you're
rim
correct.
fire.
And there is a
Uh,
good history of the samurai using black powder firearms, so you know.
well, this is what I don't get about like the UK or France or whatever like that. Like I especially I have seen a lot of videos like out of like Hungary or Switzerland. Like it's as legal or as easy as the United States to get black powder firearms.
Mm,
Obviously, like Switzerland has better firearms laws than the United States. Like you can get SBRs and suppressors just over the counter.
mm,
Um,
based.
so, but like in France, like, oh, okay, if I was limited to like a 3-shot bolt action rifle, okay, sure, maybe I'd own one of those. But like a traditional black powder firearm, like uh, this is what I'm surprised about. Like the criminals are really stupid,
Mm,
right? And like they don't shoot people with like a single shot black powder pistol all the time
mm-hmm.
in France. They stab people, sure,
Yeah.
but they don't. Like nobody's ever shot with a black powder firearm, even though they're more or just as legal as like a knife, carrying a knife in public, right? Like I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
it's illegal, but like you can definitely buy one. Um, so like, what's the holdup? Like, why do they all prefer knives? I'm like, at a certain point, like, yeah, knives are definitely a superior weapon at
Mm-hmm.
close quarters than a single shot pistol. But
However,
I
if
think
you'd
you
have
can have
like
both if you're a criminal. If you're
also
smart,
too, what you need to
they're
do
not.
if you here's the thing, if you are, you can make the argument if you're smart you're not a criminal, but like you could also with the black powders, like let's say you've got some flintlock pistols going on, you can carry multiple of those. So you can do like one, two, three,
Do
four,
pirate times.
like pirate time. Just fire a volley, just bang, 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 bang. Like it would work. It would scare the shit out of the local police. Like, can you imagine that? Um, I once upon a time when I was working in a gun store and I was an RSO. I had somebody fire a black powder revolver on the range, dude. Like in an enclosed space with exhaust fans, it was wild. Because like there's like active air filtration and shit. Like it's a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
like high tech thing, and that shit clouded up immediately. Like it was like a
yeah.
foggy English day. Like, and it's funny because we couldn't like I wasn't in the bay when it happened. We had a strict like no black powder rule. I just look over and I just see smoke, and I see these two dudes like walking back and forth. They're just like, oh god, that was so fucking cool. So I throw on my fucking ears and I'm running in there. I'm literally like my hands on my gun. I'm like, what are these fucking retards doing? And I go in there and I look and there's just like this little, there's like a fucking like black powder revolver on the fucking bench. And I'm just like, is that black powder? Yeah. You guys can't fucking do that. You gotta leave. Oh, okay, sorry. Because we're a high honor society here. So I can just tell people to get the fuck out, even though they're armed, they'll go. But no, like
Crazy how that works.
yeah, crazy how that works. They were also white. So, you know, like but yeah, so for me, in exactly 2 hours, I can put the stock on it without fear. I could go to my local 24/7 suppressor store, which of course does exist, and I could just buy a fucking suppressor and leave with it same day.
Okay, here's um okay, I know they make the chassis braces and
Mm-hmm.
stocks for like the 320 and like the Glock and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did H&K ever make like a USP stocked variant?
Nope.
Like even Beretta made one for the 92, right?
They did for the 92 is also for I think it's like the 93R is like I think it's called the Raffica, but it's like a 3-round burst
Yeah.
version of the Beretta. I don't
Yeah.
think H&K ever did because of the MP5 platform, how prevalent that is. Like, there's no point for them to do that because 9mm parabellum is pretty standard for like most European police agencies on a national
Yeah.
or local level. So it's just like there's not really a need. But at least I wish I had gotten the B&T USW brace for my Glock 40, the 10 mil, which you can't fucking get at the moment because B&T isn't producing parts in the US anymore.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like they still produce firearms, but like try to get a B&T accessory anywhere, it's like impossible.
Well, no, no, that's their whole thing is
Yeah,
like they produce really cool shit
mm-hmm.
and charge an arm and a leg for it, and it's always out of stock, even
This is
if you
true.
want it.
So I'm looking something up real quick. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So Jeff Chilada says H&K made the VP70, and the VP70 is a handgun that has it's like a Mauser style wooden stock that can clip onto the back of it. So they did. It just wasn't popular, I guess. It's also
Oh,
not the most attractive
that
handgun in the
thing.
world. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. That
It's the variant because it's gas delayed blowback.
Oh, it's got delayed blowback.
Yeah.
Double action only, semi-automatic, 3-round burst capable polymer frame pistol. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So yeah, they did, and it just wasn't very popular, I guess. Right now, it is used by Brazil, Lebanon, Morocco, Paraguay, and Portugal.
Got all those P countries
Got all
going.
those P countries. BLM, Black Lives Matter, PP. BLM, PP.
I would I mean I know that like B&T makes like the Glock chassis and
Mm-hmm.
that there's a couple of different manufacturers that make like SIG chassis,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's still a travesty that like we don't have just stocked variants of every pistol. I think it should be standard.
I agree.
It was so obvious back in World War One,
That this works.
and that it's really helps.
Can we also
And
talk
then
about how much of a flex it is to have a nicely made wooden stock that your handgun will fit inside?
mm,
Like that's pretty baller. Let's be real. Like Mauser got it right with that
no,
shit.
it'd be like ultimate barbecue gun. Like,
Oh yeah,
oh, let me just pop out my Luger
yeah.
from.
Hang on, let me just pull this Mauser out. Broom handle this bitch. Oh man. Well, we're an hour and a half in. Is there anything else we want to cover?
Oh, that's I'm good.
Yeah.
I do need to run to the bathroom before you tell me whatever special thing you wanted to tell me.
Oh, that's fine. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us tonight. Episode 218, Total Eclipse of the Redacted. It was kind of redacted for us because it was cloudy. So Max is going to go pee pee, and I'm going to sign us out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us as always. Sorry for the weird ass technical difficulties. We'll try to figure this shit out, man. We're trying. But until next time, always remember taxation is theft.